G'day, it's Kareem here at Toe to Toe, and doing my first in a series called Reflections in Sweat. Okay, which will become apparent. The title will become apparent as you watch. Look, today I'm going to work on my first lesson, which is causality. What that has to do with hitting the bag will unfold together. Essentially, when we hit the bag, we want to strike with effect, power, accuracy, all of those things. But to achieve whatever we're trying to achieve when we're striking, particularly when we're hitting the bag, when we're trying to generate power and technical prowess as well, is we have to acknowledge causality. That energy goes in, energy comes out, energy shears off, forces of momentum, angular momentum, and diffraction that splurges forces in all kinds of vectors, and you have to deal with that balance, issues of recovery. So we're going to tackle the first of those, which is causality. Just short little lessons that you can practice and take home in terms of power generation and understanding causality on the bag and how it might affect you when you hit a person as well in self-defense or in competition. All right, first up, when we hit the bag, we're driving power into it. So there's always that driving of kinetic power. Use technique. I use technique to move the bag. You see the bag's moving around, it's wobbling, it's shifting, because I'm using technique and force, my mass, to drive the bag around. Same as I try and do it to a person. Batter them, push them around, works for grappling as well. So what we're trying to do is put that kinetic energy into the bag. Something else is happening. Something very important. Something we have to take account of in order to keep our balance, in order to recover well, and be able to continue to attack. Something we have to account for in terms of our defense as well, and something, finally, we can use. And that is causality. I put energy in, energy comes back out. So when I hit the bag, energy's going in, but it's also shocking back through my body. I can feel it vibrating through my arm, into my back, into my hip. I know that, so I can feel it. My body has to brace itself in order to retain structure. If I don't retain structure, I fall off balance. I put myself into a vulnerable position where I can no longer defend myself. I can no longer be efficient and effective in what I'm trying to achieve. I'm not combat effective anymore. So, core, balance, and understanding that energy will come back out. When I kick, the same thing. I've got to use my core, tighten my glutes in the right way, in the right sequence. Tighten, loosen, tighten again. Generally, you're exploding into the technique. Boom, 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 boom. And then you're relaxing. Explode, relax, contract again. It's a very fast sequence of muscle control, joint control. Contract, relax, contract again. The last contraction is for balance, so that you can retain your structure. Okay, and I still retain my structure, ready to defend. So I'm still able to defend, even though I'm going quite torridly at my opponent or the bag, as it may be the case today. So, what else are we doing here? We're countering the effects of energy coming back, causality coming back at us from what we do. I do, something does back to me. Always, without fail, every single time. Lesson 1, hit hard, Be prepared for feedback. Just as in life, you engage in a course of decisive action or impulsive action or out of control action, whatever it might be, good, bad, or ugly, you're going to wear the causality of that. Now, tomorrow, 10 years' time, 20 years' time, you will wear it. It will come back to you. It's a force of nature. And with people and life, it's a bit more complicated. It's more of a roundabout sometimes. It's not always immediate. People don't always tell you what they're really thinking until it's too late. Groups don't always show disapproval until you're already in a lot of trouble. That's the nature of life, the nature of people, and the nature of causality. The beauty of martial arts and hitting this bag is the causality comes back straight away. Boom! Straight away, you feel it, you can react to it. The rest of life is a little more complex in that respect. Causality isn't always immediate. Sometimes it can take a very long time, and sometimes it comes back in little bits and pieces which are easy to ignore or easy to mistake for something else. Okay? The beauty of training is if I hit the bag really hard, I'll get the feedback, the proportionate feedback immediately. Okay? Now, one of the other things is that not only do I have to cope with that and can retain my structure and balance, I have to try and see if I can use that energy. So I can get that energy back to some degree and put it back into more technique. And I'll show you what I mean. 1, 2, okay, and the energy's coming back. I use it to set up the hook because the energy's pushing back. So I use it to set up the hook and turn the body. But again, here, it's stopping my shoulder, but my momentum is still coming forward with my hip. So from here, I can use the elbow. There is a feedback of some of the energy into the next technique. And this is how we're able to hit more and hit harder for longer by utilizing causality, utilizing the conservation of energy through momentum. Watch. Okay, so that actually took much less energy than it looked like because I was utilizing one mechanic to aid me in the next mechanic. Okay, I'll give you one more example. Okay, from here. Okay, watch again. Classic Muay Thai. 1 step, side step, 2, and then I go back the other way for that left hook. One more time. Maybe finish with a cross as well. Okay, each one of those feeds into the next. So I'm not just executing individual techniques or even a combo. I'm executing techniques that can potentially continuously feed into the next. It means that I can hit more for longer and keep a power range up that would not normally be possible. If I'm just relying on mitochondrial energy and even just my own technique, I'm going to run out of energy sooner. I'm going to gas out quicker. But in this case, I'm actually using the physics to keep up the momentum. And I'll show you one more combo. Okay. So they didn't take that much energy because each one was feeding into the next. Okay, even though I'm puffing a little bit, 10 days with no training has taken its toll. But nonetheless, feel great. Each thing feeds into the next. Causality is inevitable. Use it or be broken by it. That's the lesson for today. There's going to be feedback. Expect it. You didn't get away with it. You didn't slip the noose. Sooner or later, whatever you've put out there is coming back in some form or function. Be ready to use it. Be ready to survive it. Be ready to use it. Or you can crawl away and die if you want to. And turn into a 200 kilo Cheeto eating, sad sack, but that's up to you. Don't do it. Use that energy. Use the energy. When the energy feeds back through the bag, it's not that much fun. I like it now, I'm used to it, but it's not that much fun, especially when you're tired. It's not that much fun, but if you continue to generate the habit of using that feedback, that causality, not just in training, but in life, it'll get you through virtually anything. And you will become what the Chinese call a chunsu, a superior human. Okay? Humans are meant to be what we are. We're not meant to be the things that we're becoming in this modern, soft, hedonistic culture that is cruel and soft, ironically, at the same time. The only people who can be truly kind and gentle are the strong, because it's a choice. So be strong. Oos.